across the coalition-held seats in regional Australia. They have delivered so many mobile phone towers, and that's hard to go past because a lot of our farmers, a lot of their feedback is this is really their number one issue and concern is there are still so many black spots that need resolving. They're relying so much on their mobile phone technology for their farm business.
And here on the Flow Morning Show, it's good to have your company and it's good to be talking about politics in the last week of the campaign. And we thought we'd head to the Riverina, and in New South Wales, Michael McCormack is the sitting member for that seat from the Nationals, and he looks pretty safe in it. But Ricky Lambert, there always is a concern for any politician because the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party have done really well over state issues in that particular area.
Yeah, look, Michael McCormack, just remembering he was coming into the term the leader of the National Party and then was rolled by Barnaby Joyce in the party room. But I dare say for the voters of Riverina in the Lockhart and places like that, they've seen a bit more of Michael McCormack than they might otherwise have when he was the leader. So that might have been a win for local residents.
Okay, they're going to see a little bit of Michael McCormack because as we speak now on this program, he's heading into Lockhart and catching up with folk. But he talks about some of the key issues and some of the policy delivery from the Nationals, and one of those is mobile phone towers.
And also, I know that for them, mobile phone coverage is crucial. So, under a re-elected coalition government, we'll certainly keep rolling out those mobile phone towers. We've installed 900 so far and funded more than 1,200, but there's more work to do, and we'll certainly be getting on to doing that.
Yeah, on that mobile black spot front, some commentary from your coalition colleagues elsewhere in regional Australia has been that Labor really didn't make much progress on this front. But
well, they didn't make any progress.
Yeah.
They didn't fund a tower in 6 years, and as I say, we've funded 1,200, so the difference is quite stark.
Yeah, and that's very important for our farmers, amongst others, who are relying more and more on mobile technology to get the crop off.
Well, it's crucial, and they drive along their tractors. The GPS often does much of the work for them, and they need to be able to sell that grain. They need to be able to sell stock. They need to be able to communicate with the world. That's how they, as you've just said, do business. And it's absolutely vital and crucial, not just for farmers, though, but just for convenience, for safety, and all those aspects that make country living what it needs to be in this modern world.
This has been a common comment, Wayne, from across the coalition-held seats in regional Australia, is they have delivered so many mobile phone towers, and that's hard to go past because a lot of our farmers, a lot of their feedback is this is really their number one issue and concern is there are still so many black spots that need resolving. They're relying so much on their mobile phone technology for their farm business. Okay,
from the point of view of the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers, they will say that they've delivered in New South Wales fairly well. In fact, you caught up with Steve Karaitiana about that, and he had this to say about the current situation of delivery by the New South Wales Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party.
We will get a decent vote, and when I put my hand up to run, it was because I wanted to springboard off the great work that the likes of our state members have done, Phil Donato, Roy Butler. These guys have brought unprecedented funding, both federal and state, into this region. So I'm definitely using that as a springboard on the magnificent work they've done.
First of all, I do encourage listeners to have a listen to that full interview with Steve Karaitiana, which is on the FlowNews24 podcast. Search FlowNews24 on your favourite podcast app. The reason we're talking about the Shooters is that neither Labor or the other parties we've approached have made themselves available. I am speaking with the One Nation candidate for Riverina very shortly. But otherwise, these are the ones we can talk about. And interestingly, like he says in that grab, we have seen funding attracted more so to the state seats, but certainly if there's a threat from the likes of Shooters, Fishers and Farmers, or if they even win seats, suddenly you see a lot more investment in those electorates.
So, of course, Michael McCormack is in an agricultural, diverse electorate, and the National Farmers Federation have only today released their findings of how they've seen the campaign so far. And interestingly enough, they've said that they don't think there's been enough focus on agriculture. Do you think that there's something that could be perhaps a greater achieved perceived by the coalition to really push its agricultural credentials. It doesn't seem to have done that.
Well, I think one of the big ones that's just emerged in the last few weeks is the outbreak of foot and mouth disease and lumpy skin disease in Indonesia. As remote as that might seem, it is a major threat to biosecurity. And I think if the coalition can make the case that what the pandemic's taught us is we need to grow a lot more of our own product and produce and manufacture the products that come off of that food and fibre in Australia, I think then we would see a much greater emphasis in the political arena than we have so far for agriculture.
Well, the seat of Riverina in New South Wales, it's a very strong stronghold for the Nationals, and I'm sure it's going to be tough for the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers One Nation Labor to take that off of Michael McCormack, who is a pretty popular local MP. But maybe there is a need for, even despite the fact that the agriculture conditions are so good, to be talking up that. We'll keep you posted on more as this federal election campaign transpires here on The Flow. It is the Flow News 24 report.